Hello everyone, it's Halloween night. It's time to talk about something really goddamn spooky. Oh my god, it's really bright now. Anyway, you've seen the title and thumbnail, you know what we're talking about, and I'm sorry I'm late, but now that I've got it done, Halloween kind of seems fitting as the time to talk about it. Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Could the title be any more confusing? We're like 6 movies down the pipeline with this. So Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, I know it's a mouthful, is a Ryan Murphy production, the guy responsible for giving us the American Horror Story series. Now, some of those seasons are really cool, I'd like to talk about them one day, but we'll leave that for another time. And stars Evan Peters. Who else out of that show should have played this role? So Evan Peters, how is his portrayal of Jeffrey Dahmer? Really goddamn eerie because it's so fucking close. It's spectacular how well Evan Peters does in this role. I swear the man has a hard-on for playing really messed up people. I've never seen him in a role that's normal, ever. Oh wait, no, Quicksilver. Anyway, cut that part out. Now, this is a very tricky show to approach because it's based off of real events that really happened, and you have to be truthful while also being respectful to the people that it actually affected. And I think that in terms of violence, there's a very fine line and the show does a very good job. If you get too little of the violence, it's a bit hard to tell exactly what's going on, but if you get too much, then it can be very disrespectful to the people it actually affected. For me, episode 6 is where this show went to another level. The whole episode about Tony, because up until that point, you just seen Jeffrey Dahmer do the things he's doing and it's horrible stuff. And then you get this beautiful episode with Tony, to just get to know Tony, who he is. An entire episode before eventually he's meeting with Dahmer and you're going, oh no, I don't want this to happen. That episode really makes the show go through a shift from being another show where a serial killer just killed a lot of people to, no, these were real people. And you get to actually see who these victims were as people and their lives and know them before these tragic things happen. To get that perspective from the other side is just not common in these things, and it was really refreshing to see. In this show, you really get the perspectives from the people around that it also affects. The parents, the neighbors. You usually don't get that unique perspective from other people in these kinds of shows, but here it makes this version of the story that we're hearing for like the 6th time really unique and worth your time. Now, if you want to be scared and have an uneasy night, this show will do it for you. This show is haunting. Knowing the things that you're watching really happened, it's mortifying. The pacing for this show, for the most part, is pretty good. However, it does jump around a bit with timelines, which makes it a bit hard to follow, considering I've never heard this story before and don't know how it goes. I'll be thinking, wait, it's 1992, but was that before this event or after this event? So as someone that doesn't know this story already, it can be a little bit hard to follow. Now, not only does Evan Peters do a really chilling performance as Jeffrey Dahmer, like it's so on point, you jump to real interviews and you see just how bang on it is. The actress playing Glenda does a fantastic job, as well as the actor playing Jeff's father. I didn't have time to write the names down, but I needed to say it. Those guys are just as deserving of awards as Evan Peters is for this. But, you know, is it even a show that deserves awards? You know, because the show's based off real things that happened, and these are things that should not be glorified. And the show doesn't glorify it, it just plays these events out and lets you make up your own mind about it. Still, little moments like Tony and his private time with Jeff feel a little disrespectful, a little distasteful, because Tony is not here to tell his side of the story of what happened, and they're making it up. Those fictional elements or things that they heard from Jeff and only Jeff's mouth can be completely twisted, and I can see how that's very disrespectful to the families. I'm not a huge fan of people that create fiction and drama out of something that was a real tragedy. It's stuff like that that makes this such a moral challenge to review as a TV show. On a technical level, it's very well acted, it's very well shot. It is incredibly entertaining in the way that it's a page turner. You just have to see what happens next. It's a very good show. It's very well made, but I don't know if I particularly want to endorse it. I don't want to say too much. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in seeing this show, if you want to, you know, that's up to you. If you're into murder and cannibalism, be my guest. But if you want a really creepy Halloween night where you don't really sleep feel free to flick it on after this video is finished. For me, I have just a splash of OCD, so I am going to grade it still, and I'm going to give Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, an 8 out of 10. A very solid 8 out of 10. I think that this is gonna give you a very restless night, but you know, it depends on how desensitized you are to these things. I'd like to think that you'd have a very uneasy night after watching this. However, you know, I know a lot of you are from the tail end of my generation and the new generation who are very desensitized to violence because we have such an oversaturation of it, but still, these things happened and it is unnerving. So Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, God, it is a mouthful, but have you guys seen it? What did you think of it? I think it's chilling. I think it's a great show. I think it's perfectly struck the balance between what it can and shouldn't do. I do think just it crosses the line a little bit, but it's still just great as a show. If you haven't already, consider subscribing or liking the video. It helps me out a lot. Helps me know that this is the kind of videos that you want to see. Please don't make me watch scary true stories all the time. Please, if you've made it all the way through to the end of this video, you're a bloody legend. Happy Halloween, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.